Hey up, and welcome to Corey's Corner. So the first week of lectures is over, and it's just basically been more of the same shit. You know what I mean? I didn't even end up going to half of them, to be honest, just because I lie in bed for so long. You know what I mean? That's only something that happens if you're very depressed, you know, like a lot of people won't get that, which I get, but the way it feels is like, it's not like I don't want to get up. It's just, what's the point, you know? It's like, I can get up, but to do what, right? The thing is, like, I've seen, like, Joe Rogan say this before, where he's like, oh, you know, it's bullshit. If you say you don't have, you know, the energy to get up and get shit done, you're just bullshitting and whatever. And it's like, first of all, I'm sure, you know, it's really hard for him with his, you know, millions and millions of dollars and his wife and his family and, you know, his job that he loves. I'm sure it's really hard for him to get up every morning. But also, it's not even about energy, you know, it's like, I can get up and do all the stupid red pill bullshit that people keep telling me to do, but it's like, you know, getting out of bed isn't going to get me a girlfriend, you know? Is getting out of bed going to fix my face, or, you know, stop me being a mental cell? I don't think so, you know? I don't think so. It's not like my sleep's really messed up either, you know, it's like I go to sleep on time. I wake up at like 7 a.m. I just don't get out of bed until like 1 p.m. sometimes. I just lie around, you know. Because what's really the difference between being in bed and sitting in my chair or going for a walk or something like that, you know, might as well just stay in. I mean, that's why I missed my lecture, actually. It's because it was at like 10 a.m. and I just lied in until 12 on that day. And that was on like Thursday, and I just saw the time go by for some fucking reason. I just didn't get up. I mean, I don't, you know, it's not like it's a problem. All the lectures get recorded and they upload the slides or whatever to some website, so it's not like I'm missing out on shit. Like I said in my other video, I do take studying seriously and everything, but I just can't be fucking bothered. I don't know what to say. I don't really know how else to explain it. Like, I know all the red pill bros and the normies who come across my videos will be like, oh, if you don't get out of bed, of course your life won't improve, dude, bro. What do you expect, a girlfriend to just come into your room while you're, you know, in bed? And it's like, just fuck off, you know? You know what I mean? It's like, I've been getting these comments more and more lately, actually. Like, I can tell when my videos are doing well and reaching a new audience, because I get more of these like half-wit comments, and it's peaked recently because the channel's been doing pretty well, which, like, don't get me wrong, I am grateful for that, but it comes with this influx of just idiocy, and I don't even know, like, gaslighting and victim blaming and all this shit, all the usual shit. It's like, it's the same types of comments I've been getting since I started the channel, pretty much, actually. There's just more of it, you know, and I didn't realise just how bad they'd get. Like, it doesn't even upset me either, it's just annoying. It's like, just fuck off, go away, you know what I mean, go away. If the channel's not for you, jog on, you know, but if you're severely depressed, you know, and you feel the same way, then hopefully you can relate. Well, not hopefully you can relate, but hopefully you understand what I mean, and whatever, because these people obviously don't. But yeah, I mean, I say my sleep's fine, but the other night I did get woken up to some really fucking weird shit going on in my apartment. So this was like on Thursday morning, like very early in the morning. I think, like, it doesn't really matter, but it was like 2 a.m. I guess, and I woke up to like talking in the hallway of my wing of the apartment block, or like my like section, whatever you want to call them. And the thing about the doors is they all have this little peephole on them, right? So you can see through into the hallway. So I look out to see what the fuck was going on, like, he was talking, and I look out and I see, like, my roommate, who looks like Jesse Pinkman, talking to this, like, really tall fucking guy. He had his back turned to the peephole, so I couldn't see his face, but he was wearing, like, some dirty green fleece. He had, like, really long hair, and I mean, I guess this guy looked like he was in his 20s, I guess, but it was, you know, obviously impossible to tell. But I listened in on their conversation, and it sounded like Jesse was just explaining to this guy, like, how something in the kitchen worked, and he was like pointing to the kitchen, and he was like, you just turn this and it just comes on, or something like that, I don't know. So I was just like, whatever, you know, it's probably like a maintenance guy or something, or, you know, like, it's not a big deal. I didn't think anything of it, right? So I just I went back to bed, because, you know, shit gets broken, things happen, you know, things happen. We've had to call people like that in before, because the apartment, like, half the shit doesn't even work, so I didn't think anything of it. So I just went back to bed, but 5 minutes later there's like a buzz next to my head, and it's my phone, because I have my phone right there, and I check it, and it's a message on the group chat we made for the apartment, all three of us. So there's me, there's this Jesse Pinkman guy, and there's this Chang across the hall from me, this Asian Chad who lives just a bit down from me. And the thing that you have to understand as well about this night in particular is this Jesse guy got really, really fucking drunk that night, like really drunk. Like, he'd spoken to us in the kitchen earlier in the day. He kept saying the same shit over and over again. Like, we'd reply to his questions and he'd just repeat himself again, like, 5 times. Like, I'd made my food, and I was about to walk out of the kitchen, and this guy was like, sit down with us, man, come on, talk with us. And I was like, fine. He's like, I just want to go back to my fucking computer, you know what I mean? But from what I could gather from this guy's like drunk ramblings, he'd had this girl over earlier that day and gone just super fucking drunk, with her in his room. So make of that what you will, But anyway, this guy, messages us on the thing, and he's like, hey guys, I invited this homeless guy to spend the night with us. He seems pretty chill, and some shit like that. And I just read it and I was just like, oh, what the fuck? So I pulled my curtains aside to my window, and the thing about my window is it's like on the corner of the apartment block, so I can kind of see into the kitchen window a bit, and I can see the lights are on. And the thing about the kitchen lights is they're movement sensitive, right? So you don't flick a switch to turn them on. They just turn on if there's like movement or whatever, so you don't have to turn them off. So this guy's obviously moving around in the kitchen. This homeless guy, I guess, is sleeping on there's like a couch in the kitchen, so I guess he's sleeping on there. Given my food's in there and shit, I wasn't too happy about that. And I tried messaging like my Chang roommate. I was like, hey, are you seeing this? Like, what the fuck? But he was asleep, so that was pretty much it. I mean, he left the next day. I checked, nothing was moved, nothing was touched that I can gather. So I guess it is what it is, just pretty fucking weird. Like, I'm not against helping the homeless, obviously, but I'm just like, there are ways to go about it. But this roommate of mine, not only does he look like Jesse, but he acts like him too. Like, even today when I was cooking lunch, this alarm went off, and it's just an alarm to tell people like to go to class or whatever, like a reminder, to change classes. And it even says on the alarm, it's like change class, so there's no confusion or anything like that, right? So I hear this alarm when I'm cooking. This is the first time I've ever heard it, but I just listen. I'm like, oh, no big deal. So I keep cooking, and anyway, a few minutes later, I guess I noticed this like banging on the window, like this weird like thud. So I go over there, and I look outside, and this Jesse guy's like throwing shit up at the window to try and get my attention. So I go around to let him in, and apparently he thought it was like a real alarm, and he got like really scared. He's like, I shit myself, man. Oh shit, bitch, I had to leave, man. And I was like, alright, man, okay. But apparently these guys have got like weed now and stuff. It didn't take them long. It took them like 2 weeks to get their hands on some of that shit. Fair enough. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to try that fucking shit. At these lectures, it's just the same shit. Just the same shit I already talked about. There's a lot of couples there. There was this one that was so brutal. Like, I was walking to my lecture hall for one of my lectures, and I saw this like girl, I don't know, way up ahead of me on the sidewalk, like waving in my direction. And like, I'm at a point right now, obviously she's not waving at me. Like, I'm not an idiot. But I heard this like voice behind me, and it was like some guy being like, oh baby. So I was like, what? So I like see this guy run around me, and this dude like ran towards her and like ran into a hug, like they were in a movie or something. And they walked to my lecture like right in front of me the whole time, holding hands, taking up the sidewalk, so I couldn't move around them. I just had to walk behind them. And that was pretty brutal, and just the amount of couples on the university is so brutal as well. And actually the really brutal thing is there's probably not even that many. There's probably not even that many couples. There's probably not even that many. There's probably not even that many couples. It's just I'm like hyper aware. I'm hypersensitive of it. But there's plenty of other weird people there too, to take your attention away from them. Plenty of subhumans as well. Like, there's this weird clique I've noticed. I don't know if this is like a new trend or what, but they're like these people who have like, first of all, like giant fucking ears, like mouse ears, but they have these huge fucking dumbbells on the side of their head that look like they're about to hoist into the fucking sky if a gust of wind blows past, right? So they have these giant ears, and then they cut their hair for some reason in like a mullet, except they have the mushroom haircut on top. So imagine the mushroom haircut that goes down the back, like a mullet, so the sides are shaved, and they have these huge ears that are visible. They have it on show for some reason. I'd be trying to cover that shit up like the fucking plague. Like, I'd be covering that up like a third nipple if I had ears like those. And that's another thing about hair as well. It's like, thank God I still have my hair, because I can just grow that shit out. And this is what I've done, is just to cover up like my big fucking forehead, and like all kinds of imperfect, you can really cover that up with like hair. Like, it's not ideal obviously, but it's a good natural way to cover stuff up. But obviously, I'm not going to have that ability forever, so I guess I've got to make the most of it. But yeah, they have their hair cut like that, and to make it even weirder, they dye their hair a lot of the time, so they're like these weird goblins scurrying around the lecture hall, up and down the stairs either side of that big hall. The big halls where they have all the seats and shit, like a lecture theatre. They're all scurrying around like weird little animals. Just so weird. I don't know if that's like like I say, I don't know if that's like a new trend or if it's like a Brit-Bong thing. I have no idea. I haven't seen people like this before. I'm like older than everyone else here too, because I took like time off from school and shit. Like, I'm not that much older, but I don't know, like, does time move that quickly? I don't know. I really don't know. Another dumb thing about these lectures though, and this might seem like a small thing, but they use this like app or website or whatever. It's like, basically it's like Kahoot pretty much, if any of you guys have ever used that, except it's not Kahoot, it's like a knockoff version pretty much. It's just an app that lets students submit answers and shit. So what you have is a room full of people, like 180 kids, maybe, like a lot of people in this in this major, right? And the lecturer stands up at the front and it's like, okay, so use this website to join the session and answer the questions or whatever shit, right, that you'd expect. And everyone starts talking amongst themselves, obviously, because there's like, first of all, there aren't even enough spaces on the session for everyone to join. There's like 180 kids, there's like 100 spots, so people have to talk. And the lecturers like encourage it. They're like, discuss the answer with each other, discuss among yourselves with your peers or whatever shit, right? Turn to the person next to you. I hate when people say that. When teachers say, turn to the person next to you, discuss your, it's like, oh no, come on. But then the answer comes up and everyone's still talking, and then they get annoyed. They're like, be quiet, settle down right now. And it's like, like, I don't know, maybe it just seems like a small thing, but I just would have thought if you wanted them to be quiet, you wouldn't have done it in the first place, And it's like, my mum's a teacher as well, and that teachers are friends with teachers, so I'm always hearing from them, and these people are always going on about some stupid shit. Like, these people are always going on about some stupid shit, like some new revolutionary, quote-unquote, revolutionary teaching method that's come out, or like some way to help kids, like, we're going to have counselling, we're going to do this, and it's like, whatever. But these methods are always just like, they always involve these Kahoot-esque activities, and it's like, I don't know, maybe I'm just old school, but when I think of a lecture, I just want to take notes and go home, That's pretty much it. Like, I'm not trying to play a fucking game or a quiz with a bunch of random, goblins and with a bunch of random, like, hobgoblins and, like, couples and stuff I don't even know, Saying that, though, I did mock some of these fucking kids at this quiz, to be honest. Like, this guy was sitting next to me with a laptop, and I don't have a laptop to, and I don't bring a laptop, but I didn't get into the session in time or whatever, but this guy, I mean, to be honest, I didn't really care, but this guy was, like, next to me, and it was, like, a chemistry related question, and my course isn't like, it's a STEM course, but it's not like chemistry heavy, so a lot of people didn't know the answer, and this guy didn't either, and he was like, said to me, he's like, do you know the answer? And I was like, oh, it's helium or whatever shit, right? And it was right, that was the right answer, and this guy was like, oh, well done. And I was like, yeah, I did chemistry in high school and shit. And it's like, even though I fucking dropped that shit like less than a year into it because I sucked so much because it was too hard for me. It's over when you're still riding the high of things you did in high school and like childhood, but it's even more over when you didn't even succeed in those things in the first place. And it's over when your life peaked in your childhood. Like, that's just brutal, but whatever. I mean, I'll own it, I'll take it, I'll take the fucking opportunity to show off to people. I mean, God knows I don't get too often, so yeah. But this lecture I ended up going to, the one I did end up going to, they explained how the tests are going to be like multiple choice, so like like how they are in America, so it's even more just like rote memorization, literally just memorizing pointless knowledge for a test, and then you forget it straight away as soon as the test's over pretty much, and just learning shit just to regurgitate it on some multiple choice test, and it's just like, I don't know. My plan pretty much with it though is just to get the degree, and with the degree I can get some money, and with more money I can get more copes. That's it. That's what I'm doing. And it's like, I kind of enjoy it as well. It's a good cope. Studying is a good cope anyway, so if you're good at it, I think I'm alright at it, I guess. I don't know. But I guess the point of this video is now, I've been pretty down this week, to be honest. Like, ever since I got rejected by that girl. Like, I've been rejected a lot of times, obviously, like, I'm used to it, but this one was just, it was so brutal, and it was kind of like my all or nothing. That was like my last resort. Like, that girl, I didn't even want to talk to her, to be honest. You know, like, I thought she was weird. I mean, she was obviously very weird, but it's like, I talked to people about this actually, like my roommates. They were like, how did it go? And I was like, yeah, I got rejected, and they like laughed when I told them what happened, but they like stopped themselves. You know, that's like, it's over when people like laugh and then they have to stop themselves because it's not, you know, it's like laughing at like someone just falling flat on their face. It's too brutal. And they were like, oh, I was rooting for you, man. It's like, my roommates seem like nice enough guys, you know. It's like, I don't hate my roommates, even apart from the weird shit Jesse does. Like, they're fine people. I don't see much of that. I haven't talked to them in like days, to be honest. But what was I even? I don't even remember what the fuck I was saying. But yeah, this girl. Yeah, I remembered this girl I was talking to, and she obviously rejected me. And her friend was like laughing, and while I asked her out, and she just ignored me pretty much, and I just went home. And it's like, I just felt like shit. I felt like absolute shit. I really did. You know, and like, I've just had enough. You know, I've had enough of, like, I need to stop doing that shit to myself. Because people are like, oh, don't give up, it's only over when you give up. And it's like, I give up, you know, what do you want me to do? It was over a long time ago. It's not over when you give up. It's stupid when people say that. Like, okay, it's not technically over until you give up, but it's like, it's impossible anyway. So it's like I'm gonna fly, bro. Watch me, I'm gonna fly. You know, don't give up, don't stop trying to fly, bro. It's only over when you give up. And it's like, yeah, sure, but it's like, it's that makes the assumption that there's like no loss to me at being rejected again and again, and people are like, oh, you need to learn to take rejections again and again and not give up. And it's like, it's not that simple, because first of all I have to go through this humiliation ritual in front of everyone, have people literally laugh at me while I'm doing this shit, you know, not even hiding it. You know, I have to go through that. It's just which is very humiliating for a start. And then I have to set myself up again and again and again in these situations, which aren't easy to find anyway. I have to waste my time. First of all, I could just be coping in peace, but like whenever I'm asking a girl out or doing this shit or looks maxing or any of this stuff, that's time I'm not spending coping, so I'm more miserable. And again, and as it happens more and more, the more and more depressed I get, which is the last thing I need, because I'm already depressed as shit. So, you know, it's like, it's not a zero sum game. It's not even the correct use of the term, but it's not like a zero loss game to me when I get rejected. It costs me every time I get rejected, and like, God knows I've been rejected enough times to, you know, to have suffered a lot. You know, a lot of you know, I'd use the word trauma. Like, not every rejection obviously, but like, I've been rejected pretty brutally, and this last one I went through like last week, or this past week, was one of the worst. I'd say it's probably one of the worst rejections I've had. But yeah, like, I have to put myself through all this shit again and again. Just like I hate doing that, you know, and it doesn't go anywhere. So you get this like red pill advice, like, do this, do that. Red pill advice, do this, do that, improve. And it's like, I'm not saying it doesn't do anything, but we need to acknowledge the fact. And like, the thing is, I think red pill people would get more respect generally if they just acknowledge the fact that, like, look, for some people it's over. Same for blue pillars, like, just accept the truth. For some people it's over, you know, there's nothing they can do. They're going to be alone forever, you know. It's true. Like, we can, you know, you can debate like how many people, like, where the bar is. I'd say the bar's pretty high to pass, but there are some people it's over for. Some people are born and they die in like 5 minutes because, I don't know, like, their heart stops beating. You know, it happens. You know, this is kind of a funny example. At my university, there's like a museum at the Society of Zoology or whatever, and they have like a bunch of taxidermied animals. And there's this one animal that's like a lamb that was born in like 1860 something. And it died, but it died like 10 seconds after being born, pretty much. But it had 2 heads. Like, it came out of 2 heads, and it was just born like that, and it just died. It's like, it happens. Like, life is not fucking fair, you know. And it's like, people just need to accept that fact. But they don't. I don't know. Yeah, they don't. So, like, people like me and probably you, like sub 5s who can't do anything, and mental cells and incels and all this stuff, are forced to, we're alienated and we're forced to make our own communities. So that's what we do. And then we're demonized wherever we go. They're like, oh, you hate women, you're like this, you're like that, and it's like, you can't catch a break, Not to mention the constant gaslighting and the stupid fucking advice you hear again and again. I'm just trying to share my experiences, and I get these people in my fucking comments, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. It's like, just go away, go away. It's not that I'm not open to advice, but it's just people listen to 5 seconds and they think they can come up with an immediate solution to be like, this is how you get girls. And maybe the solution isn't how to get girls. Maybe there is no solution, Maybe it's that simple. Maybe the solution is just to fucking listen to what I have to say, Do these people think of that? I don't know, but I feel like I'm rambling now. But the point I want to make is I give up on women. I'm not having a go. Like, I accept now 100% fully, like I did like last video, but I'm saying again, like, I'm not going to have a girlfriend, I'm not going to have a wife. There's no one coming for me. I'm probably not going to really have any, like, friends properly again, like in real life anyway, apart from, I don't know. Like, it's over for me, It's like I have to mourn that, like, because the thing is, I've spent pretty much my whole life since I was like conscious or like aware of who I was. Like, I think you kind of gain self-awareness when you're like 6 or something like that, and since that age for like a long time, that's what I've wanted. It's like a relationship, and it's like now I've accepted this is like over a decade, this is like almost 2 decades of my life coming to an end pretty much, and it's like I have to mourn that. I have to take time to process that loss and think, like, what am I doing next? Because it's like there are things worth living for, and I need to find enjoyment in the copes that I have left and cope in peace, pretty much. And that's the white pill. I think people will debate about what the white pill is. A lot of people haven't even heard of the white pill, which surprised me. But some people say the white pill is just the blue pill, and that is a problem, because blue pillers who hear about the black pill will come in and they'll think they're white pilled when actually they're still blue pilled, and they'll either just say like, oh, it's fine, don't have a girlfriend, you can still be happy, which is pretty blue pilled, because it's like, you probably can't be like, I'm not fucking happy, or they'll be like, they'll go from blue pill to red pill but think they're white pilled, so they'll be like, oh, this old way of the world that I used to believe in, it isn't actually true, this is, and then you just got to work on yourself, so they're just red pilled, but they say it's the white pill, and it's, clueless people misusing terminology. I'm actually white pilled now. Like, I'll focus on my copes, I'll talk about them more in my next video, like what exactly my copes are. Maybe I'll even show some of them off, but I have like different hobbies and stuff, and I've actually been playing video games, and for the first time in years I've actually started to like enjoy video games again, so that's something. And that's one thing anyway. And it's not enough, I don't think, to just say, like, not that this is like a video for advice, like, if you're looking for advice, look somewhere else, because this is not the place to find it. I have no idea what I'm doing, but this is what I think, is that it's not enough to just say it's over for me, I can't get a girlfriend. You need to like surrender to it. You need to be like, it's not, I give up completely, so I'm not even looking for it, I'm not even going to try, like, at all anymore. You need to choose it as well. You can't just be forced into it. Like, you are forced into it, don't get me wrong, but you're forced into it and then you accept it. You don't just be like, oh well, this sucks, but I'll keep my eyes open while I cope in peace. No, that's not enough. You need to completely give up, completely abandon all hope, because it's not happening. And you need to really believe it as well, because it's true. It's, and then once you mourn that, and once you move through that, then you can start to cope in peace and live a life that's halfway worth living, I guess. Yeah, that's what I think. I don't know, that's what I'm trying to do anyway. I think today's video is pretty short. I've been sick the past week. I've got a really bad flu. They call it fresh tards flu. Well, they call it freshers flu, but I call it fresh tards flu. I don't know if that's what it is. It's just everyone's getting sick, probably because people are mingling. I imagine there's all manner of disgusting sexually transmitted diseases going around the dorms and stuff, but let's face it, whatever I'm suffering from isn't really sexually transmitted, is it? But yeah, my Q&A video, I did mention this for 500, we're already at 600, thank you for 600 subscribers, by the way, to everyone who's new, thank you for subscribing, welcome. And the 500 subscriber Q&A that I made a post about will be out this week. So yeah, and obviously there'll be a new video next Monday where I'll be talking about my copes, and until next time, that's pretty much it. Yeah.